Hey guys, this is Nate again. This is going to be the second video to setting up OBS in preparation for a stream on Twitch or YouTube. The rest of the information we're going to give you is going to be the same whether you're on your stream on Twitch or YouTube. Like I said in the previous video though, most of you are probably going to be streaming on Twitch. So the main thing we're going to talk about today are going to be scenes and sources, as well as global sources. So what is a global source? We're going to go over this first. Global sources are a source that are permanent. What I mean by that is that I can add a source of any kind: window capture, monitor, image slideshow, text, etc., etc., etc. I can add one of these. So let's do window capture. Name it whatever I want. Testing stuff. It will be added in. You put in whatever you need to here. So we're going to go ahead and I have Guild Wars and sticky notes. So we're just going to do Guild Wars. We'll do entire window, so it picks up the whole window, and then we are going to leave the mouse cursor turned on. This is where I was talking about in the previous video. If you want to do a video that shows the mouse, this has to be clicked on when you do it. It's based on what your source is actually going to be. So now that I've added that in, testing stuff is here permanently. If I come over here to add a source, I can add global source. It is now here forever, so I can continuously add this to new scenes over and over and over without having to make a new source every single time. So this will actually be useful for saving time. While not required, it is something I do suggest doing. I'm going to go ahead and remove this. Now each one of these sources are pretty much self-explanatory. Let's look at the properties. So for example, this one is just an image. There's a loud crying. I hope you can't hear that. Anyways, this one is just a... Can you shut the door? Hold on. Okay. This was just a image file, I believe. Yeah, here you go. Here's the comes from. Actually, this was supposed to be animated. It didn't come out right because it's not actually animated. It's supposed to play this sound file, but it never worked properly. So instead, it just ends up sitting there. This one was supposed to be an animated intro. Because it didn't work properly, this is all it does now. Just sits here. This is it. I just left it at that because I was fine with it. Now, if you want to have an animated intro or an animated be right back, you will have to go through the process of setting this up through your sources here. Which one is it? It's this one. So this one's just the image, the welcome. Goes straight to the PNG in the browser, through the browser into the file path. Opacity is of 100. Check for file changes. So if you ever edit the picture, it automatically checks that and updates it in OBS, and bam, that's it. So all of these, the rest of these you can see are turned off because they don't work. I just didn't feel like deleting them. Twitch alerts, this will be important eventually because this is going to be something that I'm assuming will add to the account, the Twitch account at some point in time, which will actually show, if you don't know what Twitch alerts is, it's going to show you what and when someone subscribes, donates, etc., etc. That's what this is. It's an actual program that have to be set up and on Corel's side of the Twitch, and then once it is, all you'll have to do is put in a CLR browser source with the URL for Twitch alerts, and it'll automatically pop up as things happen. Other than that, let's see. Welcome, the intro. Oh, this is it for an animated scene so that it will play sound, etc., etc. If you see larger Twitch accounts and they're they'll have a pop-up that plays a sound and a animation, or they'll have a be right back scene with sound and animation. This is what it is. It's video source setting. It's a source specifically for setting that up. Mine just doesn't work. Now that we've talked about sources and how to go through and set them up, remember, once you figure out how to make one or two sources, most importantly, like game capture, for example, they're all pretty self-explanatory. So we'll do game capture properties. You add in a game capture. The game capture picks up whatever game you're playing. Set these settings. However, for the most part, you're going to leave them alone. Again, if you want your mouse to show, you have to make sure that capture mouse cursor is turned on. Press OK. And then you'll have to add it to a scene. So let's do that real quick. First, you have to create a scene. So if you've never done this, you'll have to right-click into the white space where it says Scenes right here. Right-click, add scene. Name the scene whatever you want. Testing stuff. And I don't know if you can see this, but basically OBS is black at the moment because there is literally nothing in this scene. So I added in that scene. Should be able to see it here. Let me see if we try to zoom in. Yeah, there we go. Testing stuff. So if I actually click on testing stuff, there's nothing in the scene, so it literally just goes away. Now, to add something to a scene, you come over, you highlight the scene, you come over to the source, again, right-click in the white space, hit add. If you have a global source set up, go down to global sources, add in whatever you want to. If you don't have a global source, you can add it manually by just adding in. I mean, these are all the same thing. These are what global sources are created from. So I'm going to create in testing stuff real quick. I will add in a monitor capture testing stuff. I will set the properties. You can't see this, but I'm setting the properties to monitor 2, capture mouse cursor, leaving everything else the same, pressing OK. All of a sudden, now we have a scene. Very simple scene. It's only got one thing in it, but hey, that's how you get started, right? Now from here, there are a couple other things you can do. Mostly this is going to be for pecking order as far as things go. So right now, for example, on webcam, I have it set up so the webcam is on the bottom. It actually should, let's go to game capture instead. It makes more sense. So monitor is on bottom because I'm less likely to use this. It's going to be monitor capturing is for stuff exactly like this. Game capture, let me turn this on. Game capture is above monitor capture, so therefore it is going to cover everything that the monitor capturing is doing. The webcam, I'm not going to turn it on right now, but it has to be above game capture or it will also be covered by the game. Same thing for any overlays, Twitch alerts, and top donations. If you want them to be visible at all, they have to be above whatever it is that's actually being recorded. So this is on the very bottom. I turn, donations doesn't have a picture. The KeenGamer logo, there you go, pops up right there. Very simple. If you know what, still confused of what this is, it's just an image where I went to this particular folder, clicked on that file, opened it, left everything else alone, clicked OK. Turn it back on, bam, there it is. Another thing to think about, keep in mind, is the actual size and shape of everything. So in game capture, turn the game capture, it's full screened. If you want that to continue to be full screen, let's say you load it up and it's a 1080p 16:9 ratio game, it's not going to automatically fit into OBS. So you will have to go into OBS, you will have to right click or highlight game capture, or whatever you named it. Go to properties, or not properties, I'm sorry. Highlight it. Right click it in the actual screen, the preview screen. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. Hold on. Oh man. Lovely. That was a beautiful sneeze. I'm sorry you missed it. The right click in the screen capture area, the preview, go to positioning and size, hit full screen, it'll automatically size it. So if I do the same thing for the KeenGamer, now you don't actually have to highlight it in here, but it makes it easier to actually come up here and click that. So since this isn't a 16:9 ratio, it's not going to fill the whole screen, but you get the idea of what I'm talking about. If you want to manually change the size, that's also something you can do. However, because of what I just did, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. And there we go. You got to highlight or hover over one of these corners, and then you can change it manually. Also, if you want to, let's say, crop a image, for example, boom, we'll make this one, shrink this down, we'll come back here, we want to shrink this down, but for this one, get out of the way, you, get out of the way. For this one, we don't want to see anything but OBS. So, you hold down Alt over your line, red line here. It should turn green, and it will move it solo instead of making it scale the image as a whole, locked in place like a. Oh, this is a bad example, but you see what I'm talking about. Instead of doing it like this, it will allow you to crop it so that you can make it look however you want to. Excuse me, sorry. So these are good things, good tips and tricks you would want to do if you are actually setting up a webcam. You would want the webcam to be somewhere that actually makes sense and cropped to make sense on your screen. So if you have the webcam set up right here, but you have a widescreen cam, so you are taking up this much room right here, but the webcam itself extends out to here, you can actually crop it down so that you only see where you are actually sitting and you don't see the rest of your room or wherever you're sitting. So going back to scenes, the scenes are pretty self-explanatory. You add a scene, you name it, you go into the sources, you add your sources. That's pretty much it. From here, it's the reason why you would have multiple scenes. For example, this one is my intro. This is what I have on before I start. Then I switch to my webcam, which is set up normally to show my webcam, a big webcam, and a little game. And then I switch to the game when I actually start playing, which shows a big game and a little camera. Precision, fix the screen. Order, move up. There you go. See what you see. It's important to actually have these in the correct order so that they actually show up. I think that's going to be about it. Now you have to, I don't know if I said this, you have to hit edit scene to actually be able to move everything in here. Like if this is not turned on, you can't move anything. Locks it in place. And yeah, that's basically it. Set up your scenes and sources in a way that makes sense. This is for organization. So you can technically have one scene and technically have 1,000 things in that scene. And just go through and say, oh, I'm going to click on this particular, which one is it? This one? So let's say everything is in one scene. It's like, oh, we are BRB. I'm going to click on this. Oh, it's time to play the game. Let me click on game capture. Oh, it's time to do something else, let me click on that. To avoid having to do that, I have it set so where if I hit 7, it goes to the intro. If I hit 8, it goes to webcam. 9 goes to capture. I believe. Which one? I don't think I have one for outro because it didn't work properly. So I just use intro as my outro. That is. I need to get rid of this. This is bothering me. That is somewhat important to make your stream go more smoothly. You want to be able to press these buttons to just simply switch the scene without actually having to come in over here and turning it on and off manually by clicking. So that is going to be it for this video. Those are the main basic things you need to do to be able to stream on Twitch at a minimal level. Now, there are a few things that are more advanced, such as the overlay and Twitch alerts and dual cam here, which we actually worked setting that up yesterday so that we could test how this works out. So go to see the stream from yesterday, which was it was Dunn and Carell streaming. What is it called? Hold on. What was it called? I'd actually have to go in and check it out. But this video is supposed to be uploaded to YouTube. In the description, I'll make sure that, or I'll ask Carell to put in the link to the first dual camera stream that we actually set up, and that's what this is, so you can see an example of that. Those are advanced settings. So for now, I just get used to setting up scenes, sources, and switching between the two before you worry about adding in such as Twitch alerts. Okay. Alright. I hope this was helpful, guys. I hope I didn't ramble too much and you guys are able to set up OBS between this video and the last video in a manner that is helpful and makes your streaming experience go more smoothly. Other than that, okay, bye.